kiss without a fist fight, a bang without a dynamite, a place I wanna stay. I always think please, I should be thinking when close to me. I'm not explaining why. I am ready for the high.
Happy Tabernacles Eve, everyone. We are live on the Limitless Channel. This is Awake Souls. How are you doing, brother?
Great. Nice to be here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, so Wednesday night, Tabernacle Eve, and we're going to be going through some stuff regarding the True Hebrew Calendar tonight. We're going to have to bang on Steve Fletcher a little bit more because he's promoting some crazy stuff. We want people to see how bad it is that some of these guys are psyoping you because they're just using any available date, and we're going to show how ridiculous it is. But what's up, brother? How do you feel this this Tabernacles Eve?
So I feel great. We did have this block taken off from work, so I've been taking full advantage of taking care of me. I've been going to the gym. I've been doing excellent workouts. I've been creating new content. If you haven't seen the new video, How I Destroy 5G Witchcraft in Under 5 Minutes, you want to check that out after the podcast, obviously. I'm super happy at the outreach, the amount of love. I see people doing great things. Tilly, we got Joseph. He's been doing amazing stuff now on Facebook. He's writing, putting out his own content. I'm really looking forward to Tabernacles. So Tabernacles, again, it's an 8-day festival, and the commandments are, thou shalt have a feast every day, right? And party. It's a party. So I'm really looking forward to it. Now, a lot of people do set up booths. They build structures outside using the trees and the leaves, which is beautiful. If you live in a climate where you're able to do that, I say do it. Jason and I are pretty close to being outside anyways, and we spend a lot of time looking at the sky as well. So yeah, this is what Tabernacles is. It's a festival of a party. It's a rejoicing. It's a giving back. It's a thanks. We've made it through atonement. The books were closed this year, and we specifically were reading from the Cave of Treasures because after Tabernacles, you're supposed to start reading the 5-book Torah if you were a part of the 5-book Torah era, right? We're now in the era where we have 366 books and more if we could get our hands on them. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it. Tonight's not going to be too crazy of a podcast. You just have some evidence that you want to bring forth with Steve, which does need to be brought forth, because here's something that I really want people to understand. This is something that I practice too. Having a singular tracked mind is the way of having a steady foundation. Having a turtle path instead of trying to be the jackrabbit generally will get you to the destination faster. Albeit you might not agree with me or think it's true, I'm telling you it is. When we're dealing with stuff, when it's dealing with biblical prophecy, scripture, anything, any truth, anything that comes out of your mouth, if you say one thing and then you do another, you're a dually minded man. Right? So especially when we're looking at the prophetic stuff. So if we're in a simulation, the script of it has been documented and we call it the script. Sure, go figure, right? So let me just make this quite clear. If Jason and I find the flood began here on this day, and Jason checks it, I check it, he checks it, we go, okay, this is exactly what it says. It's not what some interpreter said or the Chabad chutzpah guys coming in saying, no, it doesn't say that. It's, you surely won't die if you eat this. No, we take what it says and then we stand on it. We stand on it, we share it, we show you guys how to share it, because in this game, in this reality, if you speak things into reality, other people go and speak them too. So the most important thing that you can be is a singular tracked mind. You have one Father in heaven. That's it. You call no other man Father except for he that is in heaven. And when you have the truth, you stand on it, you fight for it, and you make sure. See, this is the thing that watchmen like Steve Fletcher, and I'm not going to name a bunch of other ones because I've already said I'm not going back there unless I have to. You got to pay close attention to the fruit. What are they saying? Are they duly minded? And I believe tonight you're going to provide enough evidence to show the people that, yes, Steve Fletcher is very duly minded, and everyone should have the utmost caution when taking his information in, just like have the utmost caution with our information. And if you can actually come back and correct us, we will be thankful, because then we can stand on a higher level truth. So that's my intro rant.
No, it's good. Like Ronnie said, we're going to be going through some Fletcher 222 stuff where he's going to be saying that as in the days of Noah. This is going to be a keyword phrase that we're going to be honing in on, as in the days of Noah, because he uses this basically any time of the year. And we're not going to let him get away with it anymore. We're going to call this stuff out. And yeah, so the Tabernacles, 7-day festival with an 8th day. So as we're going through some of the tabs based on the calendar aspect of this, we'll also be taking a look at Tabernacles itself as a festival. So it's set on the 7th day. I guess the books are closed, and then the 8th day is a solemn assembly. And so there's a lot of connections to the 8th day. This is tied into Yahawashi. This is the day that Israelites were circumcised. It's a lot of connections there. So ever since we passed the spring festivals, where Passover and Pentecost was the last of that, then we said, all right, we're looking at the fall festivals. So we looked at the first of the fall festivals, and that began with trumpets on Tishri 1, first day of the 7th month. And then the first 10 days of this month are the 10 days of awe. Not the 7 days of awe, as according to Dr. Barry Awe. But, yeah, so that the 10th day is atonement. So that has passed, and now we are on the day before Tabernacles begins. So tomorrow night at sundown is when Tabernacles begins. Runs for 7 days, and then the 8th day they call Shemini Ateretz. Now these aren't the right names. They've been Talmudicized, right? But we'll go through all that stuff, that information tonight. What else do you want to talk about? World affairs, current events.
The most current affairs. It was an interesting. We had 3 friends all with the same birthday. Yesterday we had Benjamin, Bronick, and Robert here in Austin. All 3 people share the same birthday, which is amazing. Super happy birthday to you guys. We don't want to glorify birthdays, because when we glorify things, it'll be in the millennial reign. That's where we don't need to glorify anything like that. But it is nice to say happy birthday and share that. And one thing that I want to bring out here again is that through research and deductive reasoning, we've come to the table stating that not only was Adam born in the Feast of Tabernacles, but so too was Yahawashi. Same time, same day. They were both born on the same day, and they both died on the same day as well, Nisan 14, which is really, really interesting. So keep that for food for thought. I just wanted to start off by saying that Tabernacles is a celebration of the birth of Adam and the birth of Yahawashi, right? And it's interesting because we often wonder why there was this shroud of mystery. See, there's these shrouds of mystery hidden throughout the parabolic understandings of the scripture. And the more you seek, the more truth you look for, the more the Father opens it up in you. You have to earn it. And yes, you can lose it. If you continue to walk down unrighteous paths, everything gets taken away. But what we're definitely trying to say here is Yahawashi's birthday wasn't known, but we do know Adam's birthday was, right? And it was on Tabernacles. And that's why we celebrate, because Yahweh made a booth for the Spirit to tabernacle in, the breath. He made us. We're the body, and the Spirit is the breath. And that is the greatest love story that I've ever found, is the Spirit of the joining, the breath, which skipped across the waters when he saw the great creation of everything, because it knew that he was about to have a home in man, in Adam, the first birth. The Father's breath tabernacled in man. And I just think it's beautiful, and I want everyone to be paying attention. Now, we don't follow the Chabad Yiddish traditions. That's not what we're about here. We're not just about 5 books, right? No. When someone says Torah, we're Torah observant. We believe in the 5 books, but then we add like 350 more to it. So I just want to make that clear. And everybody will be celebrating Tabernacles for the next 1,000 years. It's not even a question. It's going to happen. There's no way around it. It's written in the script, and Jason and I will stand on it to the death. So that's my rant. Yeah, Yahawashi and Adam's birthday, and we just had 3 people that we knew that just had birthdays. Like, wow, what more? And Seth, we got Seth, who's flying. I don't know if he's up 30,000 feet right now, but he's on his way here to celebrate Tabernacles too. So Seth, can't wait to see you, brother.
So we have a question from the chat. KD says, have we taken the mark of the wild animal?
You're muted. Oh, maybe just to me.
Yeah, it was probably just to you. So KD asked if we've taken the mark of the wild animal, and the answer is no. We're not into that.
I don't know if this person is fishing. This is the absolute last topic you're allowed to talk about. If you guys want to hear us talk about the mark of the wild beast animal, we probably will have an upcoming Facebook Live where we're going to do a deep dive. Villar has sent in a bunch of more stuff from Dr. Lanka. I can't even go any further than that, but you guys pay attention to that. Me and Jason have to discuss a time and when we might be able to go through it. We definitely need to bring that to the rest of the world. Currently 24,000 feet in climbing, Seth says. Is there any more questions from the chat? And shout out to everybody that's here, especially PJ CNET, who wakes up in the middle of the night to watch this podcast. And I don't know what time it is for Katie, but she's in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just nice that you guys are here. I know you've got some information that you want to get into tonight. I know that. You're excited to look at the calendar and to, again, we're not excited, but this is something that we like to do, is we like to find truth. And when we look for those that speak the truth and they're promoting falsehoods, we feel like it's a duty, and it's like, I don't know, if I can correct someone, I feel like I've done my job. And if someone can correct me, I feel like they've done an even greater job, right? So I don't look at correcting things. I don't look at calling people out as anything other than acting righteously, judging righteously, standing up in a place of darkness, in a world where there's no righteous people, and doing things righteously because we care about everyone else on the other side of the screen. We're not just podcasting because we want to be famous or get paid ad revenue because some Coke commercial was on the beginning of our video. Jason and I, this is a passion project for us. We've dedicated our entire lives to this. We've sacrificed everything for this, to do this. And we hope that you guys understand that we have to call out these people, because what good would a watchman be if he didn't actually warn people when there's misinformation?
So KD says, why not come on BitChute? I think the main reason is because of how low a quality BitChute is. You can only do 720. You can only have really small video sizes. So I have been started to back up stuff to Odyssey, and I'll drop a link to my Odyssey channel in the chat at some point here. And so I ask you, because Odyssey is supposed to be blockchain technology, where we're not supposed to be able to lose these videos once they're uploaded there. So we want to have a place where we can have all of our content uploaded, so that when we create links for it, they don't end up being broken when YouTube comes along and censors us and we have to take things down and put them on private. So we're always
frustrating.
We're always looking for different platforms, different tools, technologies, anything that we can that's going to help our footprint and make sure that it can't be erased, right?
So it's not that we won't use these other platforms, because we will and do. We do both. But I just want to let everyone know the logistics behind the search engine optimization technique here. So know this: every other platform that's off of YouTube has a way smaller server, and they're actually designed to be what's called an echo chamber inside of an echo chamber. So sure, you can go there and you can share your videos with other people that have been kicked off this platform, but you're never going to have the opportunity to reach a new person, someone that hasn't heard this information. Now, YouTube buried my channel, got buried right away. I had people getting unsubscribed over 8 years ago, 7 years ago on my channel. Jason had a bit better of a run, right? He got up there in some views, but they buried his channel too. But there is the odd person that gets a suggestion somehow by some miracle. They find us. And I want you guys to know that the other platforms are all owned by the same people. The same tiny hat people own it all. And they set those ones up so that they can watch you and then they can only feed you. So everybody has what's called your name, your certificate of birth, and then now you're going to have what's called basically your truth or zone level, right? And the more truth you have, the smaller your zone number, right? So picture me and Jason are in zone 1, right? So everybody that gets, okay, zone 1 to zone 20. So everyone that's within the zone 20 gets to see our content. So let's say most of the world is up to 100. We're just 1 to 100. We only get 20. There's other, 80% of the people, they don't get to hear us. So anyone that's in zone 1 is obviously people that have heard everything we've ever said. And this is the way that they categorize us, and they actually put us into sandbox is the term. They create an internet outside of the internet. They put you there, and then anyone that sees your content, ipso de facto, has to be within that 1 to 20 zone. This is the way that it happens. Everyone's going to be judged for every action that they take. And the code writer, the script writer, the people at YouTube, the people at Google, the people at Godlike Productions, all these different people right now that are censoring free truth are actually out of harmony with the way that the creation runs. The creator of this thing is an absolute just and righteous man. Spirit. I want to be correct with my terms. In him is no fault. He is so just that what he hath set forward, he doesn't change. It is the way that he made it and the way that it runs. All these people now in social media in 2021 are absolutely in defiance of that. And the more in defiance you are, the stiffer the penalty is going to be. So I don't know if people are hearing this right now that are actually in censoring people. It's got to be better that if, you were thrown into the middle of a burning building than and die that way and then get another chance. Because when you're held accountable and you stop the words that actually free people from this mess, you're actually the worst possible character that you could possibly be in this reality. So.
All right. Is there trying to pay attention to the chat and see if there's any questions or statements that, we could go through before we go into screen share mode. Trying to think, we've got Seth coming for the Feast of Tabernacles, and who knows if anybody else is going to be available during this time period. But like Ronnie said, we've taken this time off to be available, so during this time period we're just going to be doing what the Spirit moves us to do. So whatever that is, I think Seth said that he wanted to do some P1000 recording. We want to do some brisket. We want to, but this is a solemn time during Tabernacles. It's the 10 Days of Awe is a really solemn time. Actually, Tabernacles is more of a party. It's a festival, right? And we'll be festivaling during this time period. Which we'll see how the live streams go this Friday night. I don't know if we'll be live streaming or not. We'll be playing that one by ear. But most likely Sunday night we'll live stream. Anything else to go through? Anything else in the chat I'm looking for before we go into screen share mode?
No, it looks pretty good, brother. I think everybody's is ready. I feel like we've gone through everything that we needed to. I'm looking forward to seeing the evidence that you're going to put forth here about Steve. I know it's not that complicated. We might not be on super long tonight. We have been getting ready for everything. So, but yeah, okay. I think you might as well just take it away, brother.
All right. Let's see here. Why is that? Okay, I gotta get that off. All right. Can everybody hear me? Hope so. I'm gonna do a few things to get further set up. Are you there, Ronnie? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're loud and clear. That's a green. That's a go 5x5.
All right, so we're gonna go.
Was I muted? Sorry.
We're gonna go through a little bit of Steve Fletcher's material tonight, and it's gonna help us see and understand where we actually stand on the calendar for reals, and see and understand what Steve's trying to do to people. So this is a recent video that was put out by Steve Fletcher. Let me move this around so that everybody can see what's going on here. All right, so what this is showing us is that this premiered on October 16th, not super long ago. The title of the video is Deluge Day, Chess Van 17, October 23 through 24, 21. So let's just take a little peek at this video quick, and let me know how all the audio's going.
As the day of the flood, Chess Van 17. I'm so thankful. There's somebody else that's sharing about this. Renee at Rapture Puzzle and myself.
All right, so he's got two people, Renee at Rapture Puzzle and himself, are pushing Chess Van 17 as the Deluge Day. So he's got it written on the Noah's Ark thing. It's in the thumbnail, Deluge Day, Chess Van 17. All right, just absorb that. Take that all in, please.
And everybody else is basically on the wrong calendar. They're looking at Tishri in October.
So Steve just said everybody else is on the wrong calendar. They're looking at Tishri in October. We are the Tishri in October people. And Steve is saying that everybody is wrong. So apparently everybody understands what we've been saying. And that the 7th month is in October this year because of the way the intercalation of the Hebrew calendar is. There was an extra month that had to be added so that the first new moon that took place after the equinox took place in Aries, the Lamb, which is what the scriptures say has to take place. Now, don't start thinking that Steve is just dumb. Don't think he's just stupid, because he's going to actually, we're going to go through his older material and we're going to see that he understands all this stuff.
And, if we go by the Hebrew calendar and the Torah calendar in this year, we're going to be able to see so many things. And this is October 23rd, day of the flood, Chess Van 17. And I just wanted to share this piece of information with you guys. He's put a lot of time into this.
So he said the Hebrew calendar, the Torah calendar, everything is saying that Chess Van 17 is Deluge Day. So this was October 16th, not that long ago. Now let's go back a video. We're going to take a look at this one. This was published October 7th. Let's make this a little bigger. I want to make sure everybody can see that it was published October 7th. The new moon of the 8th biblical month of Chesvan, as in the days of Noah. So these are the key words that we're going to be honing in on, as in the days of Noah, because this is something...
You say the 8th month?
That's what he's saying.
Okay, and what do you think? Do you think it's in the 8th month?
Well, look at what day he published this.
October 7th.
October 7th. Do you remember what we filmed on October 7th?
Yeah, that was trumpets, right? We filmed the Venus turning into an embryo, tumbling and acrobatically twisting through the sky.
Glitching out, right? October 7th. So that was the new moon sighting that we cited. that we have a running calendar where we started with the first new moon after the equinox. That was April 13th. And so the 7th month, the Hebrew 7th month, began October 7th. Now, Steve says everybody seems to be going by the calendar that we're promoting, yet Chabad and Torah calendar and all these things, they're saying that we're in the 8th month, as Steve says. So Steve toes the line for Chabad and Torah calendar. So let's take a listen to what he's got going on here.
There you go, guys. 6:47.
All right, so this is similar to what we did. This is recording off the screen. This looks like a P900. I don't think it's a 1000. It's a little blurry, hard to tell.
There's the new moon. Pretty low on the horizon. It's very big too. It's a very, very long new sliver, probably because it's so close to the earth. On my phone you can see it.
So this is Torah calendar. All right. So when Steve looks up calendar dates, he goes to Torah calendar or Chabad.org.
Barely. Whoops. Didn't mean to flip that. How do I quit that? Let me finish that.
You see here, it says Noach, Noach, but then in parentheses underneath it, it says Noah. So let's go back and see which day she clicked on. She clicked on Noah on October 8th and 9th. All right, just keep all this stuff loaded up in your head, everyone, please.
And then there it is again on the camera. So 6:47. It showed up pretty low and pretty late. Look at that orange sky. It doesn't do it justice, but we will get a photo of it and it'll look better later.
So, notice this is the new moon of the 8th biblical month of Chesvan, as in the days of Noah. So where is the as in the days of Noah coming from? Well, because Steve and the Chabad and the Torah calendar, they're saying that we've gone into the 8th month, Chesvan, which they say is the 2nd month.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, so you're saying the Chabad guys, the guys that call everybody else goyim, right? You're not allowed to even be in their religion. They're saying that we're in the 2nd and the 8th month right now?
2nd and 8th. So I just want to show people. This is right from Wikipedia. So if you go to Hebrew calendar in Wikipedia, the first column that they have is, let me make sure that this is showing up all the way on the screen. So the ecclesiastical or biblical calendar goes 1 Nisan, 2 Iyar, 3 Sivan, 4 Tammuz, 5 Av, 6 Elul, 7 Tishri, 8 Chesvan, 9 Kislev, 10 Tevet, 11 Shavat, and 12 Adar. 13 would be a Adar 2. Now the civil calendar, this is the one that we have serious problems with because it doesn't fit with anything scriptural. The civil calendar begins on the 7th month. Right? So they're the Chabad type people, their first month is Tishri. Their 2nd month is Chesvan. So in order to be saying that as in the days of Noah, right? Like that's something that's coming up right now. This is Steve Fletcher going from the civil calendar 2nd month, Chesvan 17. That's the reason why he's saying October 23rd. He's not going biblical calendar whatsoever. Now he's switched to the civil TorahChabad.org calendar. And now he's saying, as in the days of Noah. So second month, 17th day, he's calling the second month Chesvan, which it quite literally is the 8th month of the Hebrew calendar. Right. So these are serious problems.
Yeah, it's a contradiction. It's a dually minded man. Remember, we discussed this off the beginning. I'm going to point that out again.
Yeah, we'll bring up that scripture. So this ends up, you got this footage, but it's not over. Let's see where it goes. All right, so now we have a slide to work with. This slide says, as it was in the days of Noe, it should be Noah, so shall it also be in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark and the flood came and destroyed them all. Now he's got October 24th. Like acting like Chesvan is the second month.
Okay, so, one thing I just want to correct you on, brother. That's a meme.
Okay.
No, I guess, would a meme be truly classified as a slide?
Sure.
Okay, so then you're not wrong. Then the other thing I want to point out is, so the transliteration, or the correct way to say it with the Noe instead of Noah, yeah, I don't understand how so they're dropping an H and they're putting in a character that doesn't even exist in Paleo Hebrew. The E wasn't even a character.
Well, neither
right?
the
It's
O,
a
so
vowel.
it's literally just an N.
Yep. Yeah, I got too loud there. You're correct. So the vowels, the only vowel that's real is an A, which is an A, which is after every character. And sometimes there was an I. That's it. So anytime you see anybody trying to use any kind of scripture or any names or any words, and they use any of the vowels, right? It's nonsense Yiddish tomfoolery. And it's crazy. In the days of Noe, like, how do you even drop the H? Why would anyone even share this? Like, as a meme creator myself, I would never use the name Noe. I just wanted to point that out, but please continue on with your excellent teaching here.
All right, so we're going to go to another video of Steve Fletcher's. We're working our way back. Right now we're at October 7th, where he's talking about as in the days of Noah, pointing forward to October 23, 24, Chesvan 17, which is the 8th month, the 17th day. So let's take a look at this next video. Make that a little bit bigger, make sure everybody can see all this.
In Genesis 7:11, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, the windows of the heaven were opened. We know that in the days of Noah, he received a 7-day warning and was on the ark 7 days prior to the beginning of the flood, just as it says in Matthew 24:37 through 39. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Okay?
So in the winter,
So
pause it.
this is why.
So Steve's saying that in the wintertime, they're marrying, eating, and they're giving in marriage in the wintertime, right? November, Chesvan, the 8th month, is a cold winter month, right? When we look at the juxtaposed position, which is the one that we stand upon, is the actual spring. The spring.
Spring.
Continue, please.
On my channel, we have been watching, and all the videos have been pointing to October 24th. Okay? October 24th. And we have all of this.
Now, he is pointing to October 24th because he is saying it's the day of the flood. Go back to the first video. He's saying deluge day. Now, here he says it's October 23rd. Well, 23, 24 in his title. So he's between 23 and 24, but he's pointing to this day because he's saying it is the day the flood began. When he's going off of the civil calendar. Notice that he doesn't say second month, 17th day. He says Chesvan 17. So there's actual intent of deceiving people.
Yeah, you're saying he's hiding things through not disclosing
that, so he's saying out of one breath that it's the second month, and then out of what he's putting on his thumbnail here is the Chesvan name, which is the 8th month.
Right.
Duly thinking, duly creating.
So let's keep him go. Let him keep going in this video.
This information leading us, and the most important detail in all of this is the connection of 1260 days from May 14th, 2018. So it was this Israel's 70th birthday, 70 years completed, plus a biblical 3.5 years, 1260 days from May 14th, 2018.
So another one of the psyops that Steve Fletcher is running is that we're at the halfway point, or the mid-tribulation. He is acting as if we are actually at mid-tribulation right now. Because in his world, the Great Tribulation began on this May Day, 3.5 years ago.
18 to October 24th, 2021.
Wait,
And
Go ahead.
What was the date that you just said?
Let's let Steve say it again. We'll go back here.
Sorry, it was really quick. I just want to point this out. I missed it.
Yeah.
and we have all of this information leading us, and the most important detail in all of this is the connection of 1260 days from May 14th.
1260 days from May 14th. So he's 1260 is the length of half of the Great Tribulation. 1260 days is how long the two witnesses ministry is active. How long the woman is in the wilderness. This is 1260 days that the Antichrist is going to rule in the second half of the Great Tribulation. So he's saying the most important point in all of this is that it's been 1260 days from this May date 3.5 years ago, because he tells people that we're coming up on the mid-tribulation. Right? That's why he's saying rapture, 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 because there is no pre-tribulation rapture doctrine in the scriptures. Let's keep going.
2018. So it was this Israel's 70th birthday, 70 years completed, plus a biblical 3.5 years, 1260 days from May 14th, 2018 to October 24th, 2021, and it brings us exactly to the day of the flood on
the day of the flood. Did anybody hear him say this brings us exactly to the day
I heard him.
of the flood? It's really, I want to make sure people really understand that he says this brings us exactly to the day of the flood, and then after people understand that, we can go on to the next links.
From May 14th, 2018 to October 24th, 2021, and it brings us exactly to the day of the flood on the Hebrew calendar. Okay, this is what
Exactly
I'm sharing,
to the day
and
of the
this is
flood
what I
on the
wanted
Hebrew
to
calendar.
share with you today, giving you the
He's going to bring up the
confirmation
calendar.
that from 4 different websites. All right,
4 different
Torah
websites.
calendar, Hebrew calendar, renewed moon, current report of new moon sighting, Paleo Times. All of this is showing us we are waiting for the new moon of the 8th month. Okay, this is not the Feast of Trumpets.
No, not.
This is the 8th month.
No.
Okay, and it's the time of the flood. Jesus.
The funny thing is he said earlier, everybody's believing that it's the 7th month. So, excuse me, apparently the work that we've been doing has been paying off.
Told us, as in the days of Noah, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. Okay, so we have a similar situation, a parallel. The Great Tribulation beginning just as the time of judgment began in the days of Noah, the Great Tribulation beginning in the calendar of Noah. Okay,
No.
so
The calendar of Noah. He was on the
he's so funny.
Enochian calendar, which was strictly a solar calendar and didn't use sightings of the new moons whatsoever.
Had nothing to do with no. It's so funny.
Oh, so bad. All right, so here's where it's going to turn for the worst, everybody. We're going to start looking at some older content of Steve Fletcher. And So I want to make sure everybody sees and recognizes the date right here. This is April 28th of 2021. So this is in the spring of this year. All right. The title of this video is Rapture Watch, April 30th through May 1st, 2021. And listen to what Steve Fletcher has to say here.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is April 28th, 2021. And I just wanted to share with you why one day absolutely does matter. Many channels are watching April 29th, and they're really focused in on this day of April 29th. And I've been seeing this same time frame, but I'm really focused more on April 30th and not on April 29th. And I just wanted to share this because this is a very critical time, and if we go past April 29th, there may be a lot of disappointed people. But I want to encourage everyone to stay ready and expecting between April 29th, April 30th, and May 1st. Really, we have a very key 3-day window. So I just wanted to share with you, I mean, if we look at April 29th, Rapture, we've got a lot of videos, a lot of channels focusing on April 29th. And this is good. We're right here in this window, in this time frame. But I want to show you why. I mean, if we look at the Hebrew calendar, we're going to notice that the 17th day of the second month, which is where we...
Did you just hear what day he announced?
Yes, 17th day of the second month.
What day is that?
The day the flood began.
The day the flood began. He just mentioned the 17th day of the second month, the day the flood began. Now notice that this is right near second Passover. Right, so first Passover is on the 15th of the first month. Second Passover, 15th of the second month. And then 2 days later would be the 17th day of the second month. So he's got a calendar up right now with second Passover. Now remember, this is the Hebrew, the Torah,
Yiddish.
the Yiddish, the Torah, the Chabad.org. They're off by a month. So they're calling second Passover April 26th, 27th, when it was actually like May 26th, 27th. So we would be looking for a May date, or really at the end of May, for the day the flood began. I have a feeling if we went back and looked, we probably have a hangout talking about the day the flood began, right around this time period. So Steve is covering second Passover, which is in the second month. He just mentioned the 17th day of the second month. Let's rewind it just a hair, make sure everybody's up to speed, and hear what he has to say.
I mean, if we look at the Hebrew calendar, we're going to notice that the 17th day of the second month, which is where we are, both the Torah calendar and the Hebrew calendar both show us in the second month of Iyar, shows us in the timing of second Passover starting on April 26th. The 17th day of the second month is April 29th and April 30th.
April 29th
Okay.
and April 30th. April 29th and April 30th. He's saying is the 17th day of the second month, IR. All right, do you remember here? The calendar, first month Nisan, second month IR. He knows. Steve knows. He put this video out this spring calling this time period as in the days of Noah. He did. It was off by a month because he's using the Torah and the Chabad.org. But he knows that the flood began in the spring. He absolutely knows. Look at this.
Second month. is April 29th and April 30th. Okay, so as we're seeing the importance of the Hebrew calendar, seeing the importance of the date of the flood, the 17th day of the second month, this would really focus in on Resurrection Day of Second Passover, the 17th day of the second month, which is April 29th and April 30th.
April 29th and April
So
30th.
by putting a time marker.
Now let's go back to this video that he put out on October 16th.
Good evening, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a Trumpet for My People. Today's October 16th, 2021. And I'm very excited to be able to share this piece of information with you guys that has been shared on the community page of revelationchapter12.com. And he is looking at October 23rd as the day of the flood, Chess Van 17. I'm so thankful. There's somebody else that's sharing about this. Renee at Rapture Puzzle and myself.
And then go back here.
Second Passover, the 17th day of the second month, which is April 29th and April 30th. So by putting a time marker on April 29th without showing the importance of the next day, the 30th of April, I think may cause confusion, and it may cause disappointment. And this is what I want to share with you, why we should continue watching through April 29th, April 30th, and through May 1st. Okay. Now, I've shared 2 videos about this. I'll leave the links for you in the...
All right.
So I do have one screen share for the end of this.
Okay. I want to go on to another Steve Fletcher tab here. This is from April 21st, 2019. All right. So one of the things that I was able to do with this channel is search his channel for Days of Noah or the Ark. And so on April 21st, 2019, he put out this video, The Ark Closes, Second Triumphal Entry, May 14th through 15th, 29. All right, so he is known all along for years and years and years. Every single time period in the spring like this, Steve Fletcher has said, Day of the Flood, Day of the Flood, Day of the Flood. Every time in the spring, Day of the Flood, Day of the Flood. And when he started saying that the day of the flood is Chess Van 17, it's a full contradiction to his entire ministry, because he's always done Day of the Flood in the spring. Now, he's done it in the winter as well. We can take a look at that as well. But see, he's always placed the Day of the Flood in the actual second month of the Hebrew Bible until this year. And now he's switched it all up and he's just gone straight Tor Habad.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Go
Yeah,
on.
you're just pointing out the crux of the matter, right? Whatever suits Steve's vain imaginations, he feeds. He feeds. And I got a comment in what people really need to do is focus on the word, focusing on loving other people and loving the Father. This whole rapture doctrine is one of the most ugliest blemishes upon the truth, because if you really dig deep, you find out that the righteous people actually get to become more righteous, and they watch the destruction around them. They don't need to be caught up in the sky out of here until it gets really bad, right? Until the earth burns like 10 miles deep too. And I just really want people to know that everybody wants out of here. Everyone I know, they want out of here. They don't want to be a part of this wretched world. Everybody knows. But the best thing that you can do is know that you're here for a purpose, to love other people, to share truth, to stand up and fight for the rights of the youth, to stand in the face of the oppressors and say, we're not afraid of you. Running around telling everyone that you're going to be translated out of here because you're scared, it shows your lack of faith. What we need to do is we need to be steady, and we need to be firm, and we need to find what it says in the scriptures. That's what I'm going to stand on. Take it away, brother.
Oh, we'll play a little bit of this. I got the link that you want to share as well. Yeah, I've got some other tabs to go through, just studies regarding Tabernacles, Shemini Atzarets. We can bounce back and forth however you want, but let's check this out.
Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is April 21st, 2019. Pray everyone is doing blessed today on this Resurrection Day that the world is celebrating. As we have been watching the calendar, we have been watching what is going to be second Passover connected with the timeline of Noah. This coincides with the
Second Passover connected with the timeline of Noah. So we're talking about the second month, and we're talking about it in the spring.
the end of the 70th year of Israel on May 14th. And so I wanted to take a look at a few details today and just kind of bring everything into clearer perspective based on everything that I've already shared. If we look at the timeline of Noah in Genesis 7:4, it says, 7 days from now I will send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will wipe from the face of the earth every living creature I have made. If we go on in Genesis 7:11, it shows us the day that the flood began. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, on the 17th day of the month, on the same day, all the fountains of the great deep burst open, and the floodgates of the sky were opened. So we have a 7-day warning that from the 17th day of the second month, when the flood began, the ark was closed 7 days before that, and that was the final 7-day warning leading up to the beginning of the flood. Now, we have been watching how this coincides with the
Look at that.
exact day of.
Interesting that he's got IR on there.
IR. So he's 10th day of IR. He's talking about a 7-day warning.
Oh, I know what he's going to try to say.
To the day of the flood.
I got the debunk here.
Okay.
Brother. Steve's comeback to you is going to be, yeah, of course. What do you think? The flood started on IR 17, right?
Well, Steve is a 40-day flooder. He's just 40 days and that's it. He's a 40-day flooder. He doesn't talk about any of the other days.
Actually, that's wrong. I'm sorry. My supposition was wrong. So he's arguing that it starts in October.
Yeah,
Right?
but in 2019, he argued that it began in IR.
Which is the correct date. It also ended on the same day as well.
It looks like there might be a few more days. So I do have one.
Close, rough. Sorry, you're going to get that particular.
Well, I do have a chart that we can go through that I think is fun. Because there is something that happens on the 17th day of the 7th month. Ooh, we're in the 7th month, huh?
Yeah, we are.
All right, so let's see what else we got here.
Of the end of the 70th year of Israel, on the 71st birthday of Israel, which is the end of the 70th year, we see that this is the 10th day of the second month. How this coincides with the day the ark was closed. But we also understand that this is connected to second Passover in the second month. Now, if we go to Exodus chapter 12, we can see that from Exodus chapter 12, the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
So if Steve understands that, then why would he be even mentioning Noah in the 7th or 8th month? Why? Why? Well, we're going to find out that it's worse. It's worse than just him taking it to the civil calendar. But we'll get through this first.
Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. So in Passover, in the first month, based on the Passover being on the 14th day, on the 10th day is the day of the triumphal entry, when they bring the lamb into the house to examine the lamb for 4 days. And this is the day of the triumphal entry, the 10th day of the first month, the triumphal entry. But then we have second Passover, which is an unfulfilled feast and coincides with the 10th day of.
I just want to point out that he's invented it as an unfulfilled feast that needs to be fulfilled, right? We don't, when we look into the scriptures and we actually look at things like these menorah type ideas where they need to be fulfilled in certain ways. Now we understand that some of them do line up with what looks like fulfillments of prophecy, right? That's where we need to keep our eyes focused. You got to stay away from anything that these Chabad guys throw at you, because again, I want to point it out again. Barry Sandy, Pastor Sandy, Steve Fletcher, 222, all these guys here, they are working with the active disinformation team, right? Anybody that's a goyim, they're going to feed you slop. They're going to feed you pig food. They want you to muck around in the pig. They want to confuse you. Not only is it the second month, but it's also the 8th month. And then they get everything ass backwards, and then rapture. That's all they want to talk about. While you're actually not looking to the truth. You're not loving other people. You're just fixated on being translated out of here. And we are going to be fighting against this. If the Great Tribulation doesn't kick off and Jason and I aren't pulled away to war, this is what we're going to do. We're going to continue to stand up against all of these disinformation, misinformation shills. We're going to point out every single lie they tell. And hopefully in the process of doing this, we can find more truth too, because there's nothing better that we're going to do. This is what we were born to do. And you can hear his double dually minded ways, right? I would respect someone that came to me and said, I follow the laws of Moses. I don't want to hear anything else other than that, over someone like Steve, who then takes all these other books and then mingles them all, mangles them all, and then leads you into destruction. I think Steve should go back and just study the Tanakh, and he should follow the messianic rabbis that he wants to follow, and he should stay off the internet, because we're going to refute him and rebuke him in the name of Yahweh every single time. Back to you.
Amen.
The second month, the triumphal entry of second Passover. Numbers chapter 9 explains about second Passover. Many people have been asking on my channel about second Passover. Why do we need a second Passover if we've already had a first Passover? Well, that is why God left for us in the Word of God the understanding of second Passover. Second Passover is a feast that has not yet been fulfilled. It is written in the Word of God in Numbers chapter 9. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if any man of you or your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body.
So we don't really need the second Passover stuff. Let's jump ahead a little bit to, because right after second Passover is, here we go. See, he's got IR 10, the ark closes, then triumphal entry. He's got this all in the actual second month back in 2019.
We are watching the end of the fig tree generation, May 14th and 15th. It corresponds with IR 10, the second month, the 10th day. It's the day the ark closes in the book of Genesis. It's the day of the triumphal entry on second Passover.
This is so great. The teaching,
and what I would be expecting that
he's got really bad sound on his mic.
Yeah, he does. But what were you adding, brother?
It's just incredible that he's brought this whole topic up, because again, it leads to the fact that the more you ask for and the more you're given, the better resolution that you're going to have to the story. Because after all this, we're going to be going, what's the next point of this? Where are we going here? Because I want you to share the link that I sent you, and I'd like you to read to the people what they took away from you. And why I'm specifically pointing this out to everybody is because I want you to know the reason they took these books away was that so Chabad.org could pay people like Steve Fletcher, Barry Yaw, Pastor Sandy, all these men. They only are able to do these things to you because Hasatans, the deceivers, the adversaries, took the books away. As Yahawashi was crucified, he was the living parable of the Word. You've heard that said. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yahweh, and the Word was an Elohim. The Word was made a creator being. He was made it like the Most High, not the Most High, because there's only one. But they took him, and he was the living parable of the Word. They nailed him to a stake, and they killed him. And also, too, did they nail all the books. And they continued to do it until the Council of Nicaea put it down to 66, and now you're left with nothing but confusion. I'm going to do this like the Black Hebrew Israelites. I'm going to say, read.
Read.
That's the key. Read.
Read on the 17th day of the blessed month of Ir.
You got to read from the start, though, please.
The entrance of Noah into the ark took
Going in where?
Noah into the ark
Mm-hmm. Keep reading, brother.
took place on the day of the eve of the Sabbath. See, this is
Which
not
day?
this is
Yeah,
not
we can skip. You can skip that one part of the sentence. On the named day of the month was before Sabbath. Is all you need to know. Read.
so on the eve it would be the 16th day, right? Because on the 17th day of the blessed month of Ir,
Which month did it say?
it says May, but
May, the
it can
second
be
month of IR.
it can be two different months.
IR.
Ir.
Read.
In the morning, the beasts and the cattle went into the lowermost story, and at midday all the feathered fowl and all the reptiles went into the middle story,
Where did they go?
to the lowermost and the middle of the boat.
Read on, brother.
And at sunset, Noah and his sons went into the ark, and on the east side,
Wait, what did they get into?
the ark,
On what day of the month? What month?
17th day of the blessed month of Ir.
Okay, read on, please.
And his wife and the wives of the sons went to the west side, and the body of Adam was deposited in the middle of the ark, wherein also the mysteries of the church were deposited.
Boom. That's the king, put in the middle, right there. Rested above the waters.
Thus the women in church shall be on the west, the men on the east, so that the
Because
men
they were righteous.
so that the men may not see the faces of the women, and the women may not see the faces of the men. Thus also was it in the ark. The women were on the west, and the men on the east. And the body of our father Adam was placed between them like a raised stand or throne. And as quietness reigned in the church between men and women, so also peace reigned in the ark between
Boom.
the wild beasts
Peace.
and the feathered fowl.
And the feathered fowl.
And it just keeps on going on with details.
The lions with the calf, and the serpent with the dove, and the hawk with the sparrow. And that there is a parable unto the kingdom of heaven. Because the animals were righteous and they dwelt together on the ark, so too will we when the great millennial reign kicks off, the new aeon. And I just want to point out again here, it literally says that the flood started on this day, this month of IR. It explains it all in detail. And this is why they took it away. And this is why they took all the other books away. So that someone could say, Cain killed his own brother. What an idiot. He did it over vegetables, right? That's what you get, over vegetables. But you realize that Cain and Abel both had twins that they were supposed to each differently marry, because that's the way that the genetics of the coding was set up. And he was denied. Yahweh said, no, I coded it for you to marry Abel's sister and Abel's sister to marry you. That way you can have the beautiful children in the way that the genes were created, the code. But they took that book away too. These are just small examples of how so much disinformation, like Jason says, through one lie, this entire creation went to just garbage. And that's why no lies. Jay, how many lies are going to enter the kingdom of heaven?
Zero, nada, zilch. None.
Back to you. I rest my case.
So it's real obvious. This happened on the 17th day on the second month. IR. It's even pointed out. IR. So the whole notion of Fletcher taking it to now, These are as in
October.
the days of Noah. We did that in the spring. We did.
You mean Noe?
Noah, yeah. Now, I just want to demonstrate to people how bad this guy is. So now if we go and we do a search on his channel, we type in days of Noah.
It's a blasphemous crown he's got right there too. Makes me sick to my stomach. The only thing they got right is the periodite stone right on the front. Everything else that could burn that thing.
Let's see what else Steve Fletcher has done. This was just a year ago, so a little bit longer. February 10th through 17th, 2020.
Also the days of Noe.
As in the days of Noah, right? Let's see what he's got going on here, because...
Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my
That's
people.
from Chabad.org.
Today is February 10th, 2020. And today is the 70th anniversary, or the 71st anniversary of the first cabinet meeting of Israel on Tu B'Shavat 1949.
Blow ye the
And
trumpets.
Today is 71
Cabinet
years
meeting.
to Tu B'Shavat
Tu B'Shavat.
2020.
The
The end of the 70th year.
Beautiful trees. I love the trees. Steve, you need
So
to get
today could
acquainted
be the
with
day.
the 2 olive trees.
70 years. Or today could be a final 7-day warning,
Nonsense.
as in the days of Noah.
It's all nonsense.
Because on
As
February
in the days of Noah.
As in the days of Noah.
It's all nonsense. Everything that he's reading, it's all made up, vain imaginations. That's why it says in the scriptures, be careful who you give your mind to, because there'll come many false men. And, you know, a lot of them, Steve does have a little bit more passion in his voice, but you got guys like Barry that come to you weeping, right? You have to be very careful of every man that you take information, or woman. You have to be super careful, guys. Like, if they're willing to die for you, there's a good chance that they might actually be willing to die for truth. I would try to find those people.
So I just want to point out that on February 10th of 2020, on February 10th, he put out this video. This is 7 days before February 17th. He's got as in the days of Noah, February 10th through 17th. So this is the 7-day warning period. But he's literally taken it from February 10 through 17 as 2:10 and 2:17, when everybody knows that the calendar that we're using right now, the Gregorian, does not line up with the Hebrew calendar whatsoever. He brings up Newsweek, and he's got an article on 2/17/18. Winter storm Noah will hit northeast. So this is his as in the days of Noah, using February 17th. This is a winter date. It's not even in the second month position.
Okay, I want to point out, because you said that pretty quick, almost like you were rapping it, Jason the Rapper. So now we have what he originally started off saying was Chesvan 17 was in October. Then we showed you that he had promoted that the second, because Chesvan means 8 and 2, right? Now he's saying that because February 17th is the second month of the Gregorian calendar, on the 17th day, that this is prophetic, because Newsweek said Winter Storm Noah. That this is your vain imagination. He's a triually wrong mind. Not only is he dual minded, but now he's saying there's 3 different dates that the flood began.
I'm sorry, I was just leaving a comment in the chat.
That's fine. I didn't know I dropped the ball on you. I'm sorry. I, usually say back to you, Jay, but I can keep going on this. This is ridiculous. This guy's now using Gregorian. If we're going to go to the Gregorian, I'll just bring up Steve likes gematria. Well, my name's Ronnie Harris, Steve. If you're watching, that equals 888. My birthday's 888. You like to promote 222 and 666. Well, 888 actually destroys those, right? And so if people don't understand, 666, it was the number of a man and the number of the beast and all this, but man has made it into something that it's not. It's just a number. The number 33, it's just a number. I can expose these guys here. I can debunk gematria in 30 seconds. Here, I'll do it right now. Ready? You can start the clock. I bet you it won't even take 15. To truly have a correct grammatical calendar of every word ever written, you would need 366 books. Steve used 66 that was created by a bunch of satanic Jesuits at the Council of Nicaea. you don't have the correct count, because the first word you would need to go to the Cave of Treasures and start with the first word of that book and then start counting. So every single thing that anybody that's ever shared Gematria wise trying to tie it to prophecy is an absolute lie. From the pit of hell. Back to you, Jay.
Nice. So I just wanted to highlight that not only does he use the fall, Chess Fan 17, for the days of Noah, he also uses February for the days of Noah, which is a complete contradiction. He's used the Hamad and Torah calendars for the days of Noah, but only when it's off by a month. He actually never says it correctly, ever.
On top of everything, he's a month off with everything else that he's saying as well.
Yes. He just won't say anything that's true.
But see, that's the thing. That's what an adversary does. And that's what the adversary, again, the campaign of disinformation, it goes like this. They send out misinformation so that the time comes, they come in with the truth and they debunk it. But unfortunately, Jason and I show up with, and we stop it. We've stopped it many times. Continue. It's getting past 9:15. Keep going.
Yeah, so what we're paying attention to right now is the Festival of Tabernacles, which begins at sundown tomorrow for people. And where can you find that in the scriptures? Well, you can find that at Leviticus 23.
Only on Leviticus 23, 33 through 43.
So it says here, the Lord said to Moses, say to the Israelites, on the 15th day of the 7th month, the Lord's Festival of Tabernacles begins.
Hoorah.
All right, so right now you might be thinking that tonight is full moon, and it is going to be a big moon. It's going to be an absolutely big moon. So tonight they say it's 99.8% full. All right, so definitely check out the full moon tonight. But the 15th day is actually the 21st, where they say it's 99.5%. Mm-hmm. If you do like a Google search for when is the full moon, they're going to either say yesterday or today. Now, the day before, it's at 98%.
They say.
They say. But we've come to understand that it's always the 15th day of the month that would be Sabbath.
After we see the new moon, we start the count.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so tomorrow night is one of these nights that I would definitely like to have the camera out and film, and we're going to have Seth here. So
sure. Mm-hmm.
This would be exciting because this is when Tabernacles begins.
Woo-hoo.
And it's an 8-day festival.
Whose birthday is it?
Yahawashi and Adam and Eve's.
And Eve, yeah. Well, that's an interesting concept because Eve was made.
Yeah,
Eve was made later.
That's true.
Awa.
All right, so what do we do with Tabernacles? It begins on the 15th day and it lasts for 7 days. So this is really clear. Tabernacles is a 7-day long festival. The first day is a sacred assembly, do no regular work. For 7 days, present food offerings to the Lord, and on the 8th day, I thought Tabernacles was a 7-day festival, right?
No.
It says it's a 7-day, right? But it says, and on the 8th day, hold a sacred assembly and present a food offering to the Lord. It is the closing special assembly.
Ooh.
Do no regular work.
And do you guys know why the 8th day was made special?
Because it renews. It renews the covenant. It begins over. It starts over again.
Yeah. Well, that is kind of a parable of it, but that's a way deeper parable than I really wanted to get in. So when you're born, right, the customary thing was on the 8th day of a man's life, he's to be circumcised and named, right? So we just went forward and explained to you that it's Adam's and Yahawashi's birthday. So you're going to see that 8th day is going to be the super sacred day. And it literally says sacred day, right? Make a food offering. Give thanks.
All right. So what I would like to do now is show people this biblical overview See how well I've got this lined up. I might move this a little bit like this.
It's a special day, guys. Come on.
All right, so what this is the biblical overview of the flood timeline. And I think this is a really interesting and good thing for people to know and understand. So I'm going to copy this and drop this in the chat right away. Then we'll go back to this.
You didn't hit enter.
Oh, thank you.
No, I got you, brother.
That's the
Copilot
wrong
has to do what the Copilot has to do.
one. I thought I was being all smooth and quick. So the biblical overview of the flood timeline, it starts out with the initial reference point, and that initial reference point is the 600th year of Noah's life, the second month, 17th day of the month. And this is when the fountains of the great deep broke apart and the window of heaven were opened and it began to rain. This is Genesis 7:11. Now 40 days and nights. This ends up being in the third month, the 27th day of the month. Rain fell for 40 days, and then water covered the earth's highest places at that time by over 20 feet.
And we have evidence of it because there's seashells found at the top of Mount Everest.
And I wanna give a crown to Yahweh's daughter because she had this in the chat earlier. Here's the 150 days. All right, 150 days, including the initial 40 days. So the 7th month, 17th day of the month. Now this is what Steve Fletcher's going on about. Chess fan 17. Chess fan 17. Well, that is actually, we're in the 7th month right now. So he thinks that we're going into chess fan because he's a month off. Or we're in chess fan. Yeah, he already said we're in chess fan.
They started way before the correct day. The equal day and night, then the first new moon. They were like a month before.
Way before. So the actual 7th month, 17th day, is going to be coming, or actually, we're at the, it's 2 days away. Because tomorrow is the 15th day of the 7th month. All right, so
interesting.
All right,
Are we gonna keep scrolling down?
The 7th month, 17th day is actually just a couple days away, and what the scripture says about this is the water rose to its highest level, covering the whole earth. Sometime between the 40th and 150th day, and the end of these 150 days was the 17th day of the 7th month. The ark rested on the mountains of Ararat. And on the 150th day, the springs of the great deep were shut off, and the rain from above ceased, and the water began continually receding.
They didn't come out of the ark yet.
Yeah, so if we're talking about as in the days of Noah, well, in a couple of days, we'll be at this mile marker at the 150 days. It's not the beginning of the flood. It's actually when the water got to its highest level and it starts receding.
Let's keep going. Excellent points to be made there. Thank you. We're going to definitely be talking about that. Keep everybody's attention.
So the scriptures continue on, and notice that every time it's always a numbered month and a numbered day of the month. It's never a named month with a named day of the week.
It's not Tuesday, right?
No. The 10th month, first day of the month, is when the tops of the mountains became visible on the 10th month, first day. 11th month, 11th day, after 40 more days, Noah sent out a raven. 11th month, 18th day. This is a week later. The dove was sent out 7 days after the raven. It had no resting place and returned to Noah.
Nowhere to rest.
11th month, 25th day. Another 7 days. After 7 more days, Noah sent out the dove again. It returned again, but this time with an olive leaf in its beak.
Oh, that's a good sign.
12th month, 2nd day of the month. Another 7 days. After 7 more days, Noah sent out the dove again, and it did not return.
Ooh, that's a good sign, unless it was eaten by some kind of sea monster.
So then another 29 days passed, and on the 601st year of Noah's life, the first month, the first day of the month.
And how do we find that?
This
That's the
is
equal day and night. The sun rises 9270, and then we count to after we see the first new moon. We got the first day of the first month.
exactly. This is when Noah removed the cover of the ark on the first day of the first month. The surface of the earth was dried up, and Noah could verify to the extent of what he could see.
Interesting. Kind of reminds me of Genesis 1:1.
And then, so on the second month,
Oh, we're back to IR again. Hmm?
back to IR, 27th day of the month. So this is 10 days after it started. So it's a year and 10 days.
Okay.
All right. The earth was dry.
I was off by 10 days. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
And Yahweh commanded Noah's family and the animals to come from the ark from the first day of the year. During the daylight portion, there were 29 and a half more days left in the month, plus 26.5 more days left in the second month until the exit. So,
Wow. Mm-hmm.
second month, 27th day of the month,
it ended.
370 days long.
Interesting.
It's documented in the
The parable
scriptures.
the parable in that could be there was a few extra days given unto the end before the 6,000 years for everybody to either repent, to seek Yahawashi through, that's the parable. There could be many things. Maybe we don't know the full story. We need to get more context. We'll see if there's any more context that comes up, but it's just key here to point out that Jason made the case with the book of the Cave of Treasures, as well as the book of Genesis, completely showing everybody that the flood, right? It all started in spring, the second month, IR, 17th day, not in October. That's ridiculous.
But if we're looking for a as in the days of Noah thing, we're just a couple days away from this 150 day mark where the water had raised to its highest level and then began to recede, right?
It's really just a mediator point. We're not saying that he either came out. So the key things to notice here is when he went into the ark and when he came out of the ark. This is a middle day thing. So not only is Steve taking you to 3 different dates, but he's also taking you to something that's circumstantial, right? It is important. It's context. It's context to the story, but it's not giving you any prophetic, like, no, Stevie, no.
All right, so another tab here, because Steve Fletcher is promoting that we're in the days of Noah, that this is the second month of the year. So how Rosh Hashanah became New Year's Day. This is about the civil calendar flip, where here's the original biblical calendar, and then here's the civil calendar where it's 6 months out of sync. And so let's answer the question how this happened. And it says here, the effort to strike a balance between a particularistic loyalty to Jewish religion and nationhood and a more universalistic commitment to the human community played out in the struggle to set a date for the beginning of the Jewish calendar year. All right, so universalistic, that is
Catholic, hang on.
Right?
Okay, there was no debate. They set out to change what hath been given to us as fact. They set out to change it. They just worded it wrong there.
So it says the two possibilities were Nisan, the month of Passover, and Tishri, the month what is known as the festival of Rosh Hashanah. So right away it goes in the Torah. This is referring to the first 5 books, right? The Torah. The beginning of the year was clearly set at the first of Nisan. Right, so in the Bible, the first 5 books, the beginning of the year was clearly set to the first of Nisan in the context of a description of the first Passover. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, "This month shall mark for you the beginning of the months. It shall be the first of the months of the year for you." He said this to Moses, right? Moses and Aaron. This new year celebrated the creation of the Jewish nation through the redemption of the Israelites from Egypt. Nisan, as the first of the months, coincided with the beginning of Jewish national history. But it is surprising that the Torah made no mention of a new year at the first of Tishri, which today is so central to the Jewish religious experience. So the Bible says nothing about this. absolutely nothing that the first day of the year should be in the fall, in the 7th month. The Torah's reference to first Tishri is sparse altogether, describing a holiday characterized primarily by the blowing of a shofar. In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you shall observe complete rest, a sacred occasion commemorated with loud blasts. You shall not work at your occupations, and you shall bring an offering by fire to the Lord. The name Rosh Hashanah is not mentioned, nor is there a reference to its function as a day of judgment and anniversary of the world's creation. So, where this goes now is, as you can expect, to the Mishnah, to the Talmud, to all the oral traditions of the rabbis. So Mishnah, this isn't biblical. Mishnah specifically defines Rosh Hashanah's New Year status. The first of Tishri is the beginning of the year. For years, sabbaticals.
Well, I don't know how much longer you want to go, but I can explain what I believe I can see here as I can see through all of this deception. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to say that Adam's creation was the beginning of the year, right? That's what they're trying to do, right? But then you have to understand that Adam's creation, there was a lag between when Eve was here, between they fell, right? So there's all these different parabolic meanings, and we don't know if we have all the books, but we know that what they're trying to do here is to just misinform you. They want to lead you away from the truth, because that's what the adversaries do. And they do it because they don't want Goyim to know the truth. They've hid it from everybody. The Freemasonic societies, the Jesuits, all the different secret societies have done nothing but hide the truth from you. Continue.
I got to move this over a little bit.
I just wanted to suppose that if you want to say that the day Adam was made, if it was his birthday, right? Maybe that's when you want to start the calendar. Is that what the deep underlying of this? That's probably the story that they learn in the synagogue.
Well,
And then they learn this is how you lead the Goyim away.
here's the answer from this website is myjewishlearning.com, right? So this is maybe going to be one of the best answers you'll ever get. The Talmudic rabbis analyze the text of the Bible as they argue about when the new year should begin. Yet different sets of verses yield different answers. Historians cite evidence from the ancient Near East looking at the New Year's celebrated by neighboring peoples, but nothing is conclusive.
What?
Others look to archaeology for support, but the truth remains murky.
Excuse me? They're looking to other civilizations to find out when to start the year?
That's
What?
Exactly.
It's just nonsense, everybody at home. Everybody on the other side of the screen, whether you're anywhere, I don't know if you're at home, but stay away from this nonsense, you guys. Please. Please seek ye the truth. Ask the Father to open your eyes.
But this article already stated, in the Torah, the beginning of the year was clearly set by the first of Nisan in the context of a description of the first Passover. All right, so...
I think you've done an excellent job tonight, brother. This was fun.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't have to be me and Jason just pounding on Steve, even though we do. This is about edifying Steve. We love Steve. We want to see Steve in the kingdom with us. We want to see him. But unfortunately, every single thing that we do, especially, when people read, see, that's why they try to take Paul away. When you read Paul literally tells you that it's important for anyone that there's another level of responsibility. Anybody that proclaims to be a teacher, that comes out here and leads a flock of people, and I liken them under a flock, you are held accountable for every misinformation and disinformation that you tell. Every single one. And there's different levels of hell. And it's amazing that you'll notice people just skipping by these facts. They just want to come out here and say rapture, 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 when all they're doing is leading you to destruction. You got more?
Well, I just want to, because we're right at the beginning of Tabernacles Eve. I just wanted to end it on a big festival of Tabernacles scripture.
Beautiful.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. And yes, keep following us. Stay tuned in to the Limitless channel for now. We'll be back on Awake Soul soon. Follow me on Facebook if you want to see updates and live stream videos. They're going to be posted there. That's Ronnie Harris on Facebook. If you search the Limitless channel, Ronnie Harris, you'll find me. Or Ronnie Shine.
So I just want people to see where I'm at here. I'm in Zechariah 14. I'm going to come down here to verse 12. I'm going to read this section here. It says, "This is the plague with which the Lord will strike all the nations that fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh will rot while they are still standing on their feet. Their eyes will rot in their sockets, and their tongues will rot in their mouths. On that day people will be stricken by the Lord with great panic. They will seize each other by the hand and attack one another. Judah, too, will fight at Jerusalem. The wealth of all the surrounding nations will be collected. Great quantities of gold and silver and clothing. A similar plague will strike the horses and mules, the camels and donkeys, and all the animals in those camps. Then the survivors from all the nations that have attacked Jerusalem will go up year after year to worship the King, the Lord Almighty, and to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles." All right, this is the people that survive will go up each year.
It's a festival, not a feast. An absolute festival of celebration. This is, you know, everyone thinks, oh, I don't want to go to heaven. It's going to be boring. You're absolutely the most ill-equipped person mentally I've ever met in my life, because this is going to be a party of all parties. Dancing, singing, celebrating, giving praise and joy like we have never seen. And it's going to happen every year for 1,000 years.
And it says, "If any of the peoples of the earth do not go up to Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord Almighty, they will have no rain." So this right here parallels what's going to happen in the Great Tribulation, where we understand that the rains are going to be shut up. This is like an Elijah thing. He shut off the rain for 3.5 years back when he is alive. He's supposed to come, set all things straight. The two witnesses, and it says in the scriptures that the rains are going to be cut off for the wicked people, right? Not for the righteous, but for the wicked.
Not a rapture, but the righteous people will still have rain. And they're going to be more and more righteous.
Because they're going up to the Festival of Tabernacles before the Lord Almighty. So this is happening to the people that don't. It says, if the Egyptian people do not go up and take part, they will have no rain. The Lord will bring on them the plague he inflicts on the nations that do not go up to celebrate the Festival of Tabernacles. This will be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all the nations that do not go up to celebrate the Festival of Tabernacles. So this is a big one, people. It begins tomorrow.
Get you some tabernacles.
Get you some. Do you have anything else that you want to add, brother?
Nah, I want you to play us out.
All right. Well, thank you for joining, everyone. Not sure about being live this Friday. If we're going to be, we'll try to get a thumbnail up early enough to let everybody know. But you might want to just be thinking Sunday. We'll see how it goes. And thank you to everybody that joined. The only place you're going to ever hear this is on Yahawashi News Network.
hands raised like a gospel choir. If we live forever, let us live forever tonight. Helicopters against the moonlight.